Have you or a loved one been affected by pignosis? Symptoms include blaming the controller, banning your own viewers, and saying, "That's impossible 47 times a stream." However, there is hope. Welcome to Duty Streams, the internet's premier center for DSP analysis, memes, and emergency anti-pignosis treatment. We expose the cope, we study the salt, and we ask the hard questions. Did the game really screw him, or was it just another skill issue? Subscribe to Duty Streams today, because pignosis spreads fast, but laughter spreads faster.
So Barry McCorkinher, what a great name, says, so we should just roll over and take it then? No, I've already explained this to you many times. The only way that you can be effective against a corporation is to stop spending money, okay? All these years that gamers constantly complain about every possible thing under the sun, the best way for them to actually institute a change is to stop spending money on the things they don't like. If you don't like that Pokemon runs like crap on Switch, then don't buy the new Pokemon that comes out on Switch, okay? If you don't like a certain practice, stop supporting it. If you're so upset that it took them so long to make Grand Theft Auto 6, then don't spend money on Grand Theft Auto Online, and then they'll have to make Grand Theft Auto 6. But you can't do the action, okay, that supports and allows them to do the action you don't like and then complain, because that's hypocritical, right? If it's whose fault is it that Game Freak gets away with putting out poorly running games on Switch? You, if you keep buying them. You know? Now, there's an exception to that rule. Creators who are covering these games and being honest in their coverage, then when they buy the game and they're honest about it and telling you it's not very good, that actually is the opposite, okay? Because that's one sale, but that sale with that warning could lead to reduction in sales based on the criticism, okay? But the common person running out and buying every single game under the sun because of hype and day one and pre-order. Like the other day, someone literally just said to me, was it yesterday? Oh, I got money I traded in at GameStop. I'm going to pre-order GTA 6. Excuse me? You're going to pre-order a digital-only game. Why? It's digital. It can't sell out. The whole premise of pre-ordering is that you're reserving a copy because there's limited quantities and you want to have it on release day. You literally can't run out of a digital copy of a game for release day. So why would you pre-order it? But do you see what I mean? So many people buy into hype. They don't think. They just, well, I pre-order every game. Why? For what reason? You're giving these people money they didn't earn because you bought into marketing hype. That's why we get into these bad situations where these companies think that they could do these things because they're like, you know, we don't really care. Like, that's exactly what Sony has said through this whole thing, right? When Sony first said we're going to phase out physical games by 2028, the entire internet went crazy. Social media said we're going to boycott. We hate Sony. We're going to attack every post they make, right? Do you want to know what Sony said? We don't care because actions speak louder than words. These words on the internet mean nothing. We've seen no evidence whatsoever to say that people are going to effectively change their purchasing styles. Just because they're whiny on the internet, that's just a bunch of loud nerds. And we know that loud nerds don't really equate to our mainstream product base. More people who aren't whiny people on the internet buy our products than the whiny people. So we don't care that the whiny people are whining. We think we're still going to make tons of money, and we don't really give a shit about these whiners. So if you don't like that mentality, if you disagree with Sony, then show them with your wallet. Don't buy anything on PlayStation. Cancel your PS Plus subscription immediately, okay? Don't buy any games on PlayStation at all. Don't buy controllers. Don't buy peripherals. Don't buy PlayStation 5s. Just stop. Cut the cord. And go on and give your money to somebody else who you think respects you more as a gamer and a customer. And then, if Sony actually feels it in the wallet, they'll be like, ooh, we were wrong. Our assumptions were invalid, and now we actually have to market adjust. But the problem is this has not happened yet. What we've seen is a lot of whiny people on the internet, and it never translates into change. Man, let me tell you something. I had never seen as big of an angry mob as I saw when Pokemon Scarlet Violet came out on Switch 1 and the game performed so poorly. Horrendous frame rates. terrible draw distances, characters who were only a little bit in the background, walking at like 2 frames per second. The game looked like ass. Okay? Everyone complained. And then within 1 week, it became the best-selling Pokemon game of all time. So do you think Game Freak or Nintendo were pressured to improve? Of course not. Why would they? People showered them with money, so why would they care? It's just a bunch of whiners on the internet. Until you can convince the mainstream crowd who's buying these games to stop spending, you will never see change. Never. That is the truth of the matter. Okay. Yeah, there you go. Stormforce Gamer says, I had to go digital for games. All the brick and mortar stores around me are now closed down. It's happening. It was inevitable, you know? See, you know what? I'm not going to disagree. Doja Maderalik says, well, the whiners are people who are actually into games. The ones who buy everything, those are tourists for the hobby, and they only hop on trendy stuff. You know, you're right. I'll tend to agree with you here. Not in all cases, but I tend to agree with you here. The problem is, that's who's directing the market now. Because when a game gets hype and popular, when you get an Elden Ring or a hot game that everyone, jumps on trendy, and those games sell so much, every literal game developer says, I want to have that. And then they copy that formula times a million. And that's what's directing the game industry now. And I agree with you. This is now stifling creativity. This is making it that every game seems samey. How many Soulsborne ripoffs do we have now? Do we really need them? Do any of them actually significantly add anything to the genre? Or are we all just spinning our wheels waiting for the next real FromSoft game to come out? So you're right. The people online who complain a lot of the times are the big gamer crowd. The problem is when these games hit mainstream popularity, now that becomes the crowd that determines the future. And that's kind of scary because, to be honest, like you said, gaming tourists don't really know what's good for the industry, don't understand that their money actually dictates stuff. Like, let's be honest, the vast majority of people who play GTA Online are probably gaming tourists. They're not people who play a lot of other games. They probably just play GTA Online. That's their hobby. That's where they hang out with their friends. That's where they have their virtual life. They invested an insane amount of money in it. And that's why it's such a weird division between those kind of communities and the mainstream gaming community. Because here I am. I'm a YouTuber for 18 years. Do you want to know how many times I played GTA Online? Twice. When it came out and when heists were released. That's it. Now, I'm certainly not out of touch with most games. I know about new games coming out. I play the big ones. So why is it that GTA Online has had zero impact for me? Because it's really not in line with people who are gamers. It's in line with gaming tourism. It's in line with virtual existence and community, Second Life kind of shit. Yet it's one of, if not the most profitable thing in gaming. How crazy is that? It's made more money than almost every other thing in gaming, and it's not even in line with mainstream games. That's what's popular. It's crazy to think. Am I a card game tourist? I mean, admittedly, I would say right now, I kind of am. I'm not actually learning the games, right? I don't know how to play them. I'm just collecting. I'm opening. I'm enjoying how they look. I'm enjoying the hobby of building a binder or a deck. I like the value of the cards, but I'm not learning how to play them. I'm certainly not a mainstay. If I keep doing cards for years, then you can't call me a tourist anymore, right? But as someone who just got into the hobby for 3 months, yeah, you could very, very reasonably call me a TCG tourist. Sure, you could. exactly. Battle Duck says, you're not a GTA RP streamer, role-playing, if you don't know what that means. That's a specific niche you never tried because of your rabid haters. And again, that is an insanely popular community that's not really in line with mainstream gaming. It exists. It's huge. It has a giant amount of people who do it and a following. Do you ever hear about it? Was there ever GTA Online roleplay at the Game Awards? Did anyone, you know what I mean? No, it's not even a mainstream thing, but it's huge. It has its own giant community. It's crazy how these things determine gaming, but they're not even in line with what you would even consider like typical gaming. Jade, yes, today. Here's the thing, Jade, because Jade is here. He's asking, what cards are we opening today? So here's the thing. Right now, we're going to be opening One Piece Royal Blood. There's 8 packs left, and there's supposed to be a hit in those 8 packs. So yes, we'll be opening those as of now if we get support on this stream. However, the Dragon Ball cards are coming today, which is shocking. I thought they weren't coming till the middle of the week or later. They're actually coming